So now that we have defined a variable with appropriate data type, we need to put data inside the variable so that we can use it in the program. In order to store a value in a variable, we must use an assignment statement, which has an assignment operator, the equal sign. The operand on the left side of the assignment operator must be a variable name. The operand on the right side must be either a literal or expression that evaluates to a type that is compatible with the type of the variable. So think about the float assignment we had in last session. You cannot assign a double valued literal to a float variable because float variable is not compatible with double data type. That's what this means here. The expression or literal always have a type by itself, and the variable has a type by itself. These two, the variable type must match or compatible with the literal expressions type. So one example of assignment is in this code, we have a month equals to 2 and day equals to 28. The variables must be declared before they can be used. That's when you have this int definition here, int month, int day. Once declared, they can then receive a value, and this process is called initialization. However, the value must be compatible with variables declared type. Here, because 2 and 28 are both integers, so there's no problem in compatibility. But if this is a float and this is a double, we already see that it will fail. And once you assign the value, once you finish initialization, the variable can then be used in the output statement or in other calculations. Local variable can also be declared and initialized on the same line, like here. You can have an int month equals to 2 and days equals to 28 in the same line, which will make it easier to read. Some other notes here. Variables can only hold one value at a time. Local variables do not receive a default value and you have to assign it. Local variables must have a valid type and a valid value in order to be used. For example, if you just declare this month and day without initializing it, without giving it a value, then you directly use it here, then this will fail. You will receive a syntax error when the code is compiled because you cannot use an uninitialized variable. After you initialize a variable, you can perform operations. And since we already introduced integer and the float point, the first operation we talk about here is arithmetic operations. Java has 5 arithmetic operators: the familiar addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And there's one more is the modulus, just for integer, to calculate the remainder. So these all look familiar, and operators are called binary operators because they must have 2 operands. Each operator must have a left operand and the right operand. And the arithmetic operators work as one would expect. And you will fail, you will get the error when you try to divide by 0. One issue with division of integer is that there are different meanings of this division operator. What is the value of 1 divided by 2? Normal people will think the answer is 0.5, but the answer is simply 0 because integer division will truncate and the decimal remainder. So we will use an example here. Now that you see there are a whole bunch of doubles, And you have a regular wage, you have a multiplication and addition. Now let's also define some integer, or maybe I just use a system. I don't even need to use a variable. I can directly use literal to demonstrate the point. One divided by two. So let me comment this out and with a semicolon. So you can see that system out print 1 divided by 2 gets 0 because this is an integer division. If you want to get 0.5, if you want to do the normal flow point division, you need to add a 1.0 in front to forcibly convert it into a float point calculation. So let me run this. And now you see 0.5. So remember, you will encounter the same question in your homework assignment, as well as the same issue in your real-time work, because this is a very common issue that happens to junior Java developers, that forgetting to time 1.0 in an integer division when you are expecting a floating division. So that being said, mathematical calculation is actually easy to understand, but they can also be very complex. There's a set order in which arithmetic operators will be carried out, and you would expect the same operation order as you would expect in mathematical calculation. The highest priority is this unary negative, then followed by division and multiplication, followed by plus and minus. If you want to change the order, then you need to use parentheses, just like what we have been done when we try to print out a string with arithmetic calculation. So you will do 4 times 5, 5.2, 5 minus 2. These two will be calculated first. If two sets of parentheses are at the same level, they are processed left to right. Java also have some combined assignment operators. These operators allow the programmers to perform an arithmetic operation and assignment with a single operator. Although not required, these operators are popular since they will shorten simple equation, and more importantly, they will make the operation more clear on what it means. For example, x plus equals to 5 actually is x equals to x plus 5. But by writing x plus equals to 5, it's more clear that you are increasing x by 5. And similarly, you have minus equal, times equal, divided by equal, and modulus equal. So we can have a quick example of, we already see overtime hours is 10 here. What if I do a plus equal to 10? What will be the result of this calculation? Since it is already 10 before this assignment, plus equal will add 10 to the value. So we should expect 20. And that's what it gives us.